go back on the record one more time outside the hearing and presence of the jury. Do you have an opportunity to view the video?
I did, Judge. We are okay with everything.
Okay. Jury's right behind me. Anything else for the state?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll bring him in and get started. Would you come and wait up here?
Morning, Judge.
Good morning.
All right.
You may be seated in the courtroom, ladies and gentlemen. Again, if everyone in the gallery would check your electronic devices and make sure they're off. Let's go back on the record. We reconvened this morning in criminal cause D101 CR 2023-25, State versus Apodaca. And we continue in the state's case in chief. Ladies and gentlemen, the attorneys and I have spent some time this morning. I finished up the other hearings I had to do, and we spent some time organizing the day. We've got a lot to get through today. So just a heads up to that. We'll probably take our morning break in about an hour and 15 minutes, and it'll be real short. Again, if there's anything that you need during the course of the day, please let the bailiff or myself know. Ms. Murphy, who's your first witness?
Javier Vigil, Your Honor.
Sir, if you'd face me and raise your right hand, I'm going to place you under oath. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under penalty of perjury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please have a seat.
Good morning.
If you'd start by stating your name for the record and spelling it for us, please.
Yes, my name is Javier Vigil, spelling of the first name Javier, last name Vigil.
Ms. Murphy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
What do you do for a living?
I'm currently employed by the City of Santa Fe Police Department as a sergeant.
Let's talk about your background and training and experience. I assume you graduated high school?
I did, yes, locally from Pocket Valley High School.
After you graduated from high school, what did you do?
I immediately went into the United States Marine Corps. I went in and enlisted. My enlistment started in 2011. During that enlistment, my primary occupation was a military police officer. So in 2011, I became a certified military police officer and attended their police academy. And then I concluded my enlistment with an honorable discharge in 2015.
Did you deploy at all during your time in the United States Marine Corps?
Yes, I did. In 2012, I deployed to Afghanistan.
Thank you. What's your educational background after high school?
After high school, after I was employed with the Santa Fe Police Department for a few years, I recently concluded my bachelor's degree in criminal justice in 2025. And then I carried on to recently complete my master's degree in management, and I was conferred in April of 2026.
After leaving or being honorably discharged from the United States Marine Corps in 2015?
2015, yes, ma'am.
What did you do?
I sought employment and was able to secure employment with the Santa Fe Police Department, my current employer, and I was hired as a patrol officer in late 2015, early 2016.
As part of becoming a Santa Fe Police Department patrol officer, did you undergo any sort of training or academy?
Yes, I did. My pathway was a little bit unique as far as becoming certified as a New Mexico police officer. I attended what's called a certify by waiver training, And what that essentially means is that I did not have to attend a full police law enforcement academy because I already had law enforcement experience through the United States Marine Corps. So I attended, it was an approximately 3-week training that primarily consisted of learning how local state laws and statutes and city ordinances work, particular to the city of Santa Fe and the state of New Mexico.
Thank you. How long were you on patrol once you joined the Santa Fe Police Department?
I served as a patrol officer from approximately late 2015 to 2020.
Okay. And after being on patrol for approximately 5 years, what did you do?
I tested and was selected and promoted to the rank of detective. I served a short period of time, about 4 months, in the property crimes unit, and then I transferred into the violent crimes unit around the same period of time, around 2020.
After testing and applying and being accepted as a detective, what, if any, training did you get in investigations?
Investigations, like a lot of law enforcement, your training is constant. There's always something new to learn. Laws are always changing, and there's always self-improvement that could be had through training. So particular to a detective, virtually all detectives, at least in my experience in the Santa Fe Police Department, we will attend some sort of a basic investigator certification. I did that in 2021. And then moving into the violent crimes unit, because we do have the tendency to work cases such as this one, homicides, violent felonies. I had the privilege of attending a couple different homicide investigation courses. One was in Littleton, Colorado. It was a 36-hour course. That was more of a basic homicide investigation course. And then in early 2023, I attended an advanced homicide investigation course in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Additional to that and relevant to this case, I've attended an interview training as well as a mobile device investigations training.
Okay. The jury has heard that your title is now sergeant. When did you promote from detective to sergeant?
I tested and promoted to sergeant out of the violent crimes unit in April of 2024. When you promote to sergeant, at least in our agency, you go back to the patrol division. You'll serve as a patrol sergeant until you could stay there until you promote to lieutenant. What I recently completed, I tested and was moved back into the investigations division as a detective sergeant. That was about 3 months ago. So now I'm a supervisor in our criminal investigation section.
And so it's your job to supervise detectives, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And are you part of any other extracurricular aspects of your agency? Do you do anything outside of your role as sergeant?
Yeah. Specialty-wise, I joined our department's Special Weapons and Tactics team, SWAT, in 2017 approximately. I've maintained that and continued as part of our SWAT team. I still currently am. I became the SWAT commander about 3 years ago.
Thank you. What was your rank and what unit were you assigned to in October of 2022?
On that date and time, I was assigned to the Violent Crimes Unit.
Sergeant Vigil, what is your role in this case?
My role in this case, I am the case agent. For the full case. Basically, all the investigative decisions or the main investigative decisions funnel through the case agent. So this includes but is not limited to conducting interviews, completing various search warrants, ensuring that relevant evidence is maybe sent for DNA, latent prints, various examinations. In a number of words, it's to do your due diligence, to do everything reasonably possible to ensure that the case is investigated thoroughly.
Do you do every single step of the investigation yourself, or do you work with your colleagues?
No, I do not. So part of the Violent Crimes Unit, there's a number of us assigned to the unit, and we, I'd like to think of us, or when I was part of that unit, we would be a team. As you can imagine, these cases can be quite complex, and some of the investigation is time sensitive. So especially when there's a homicide or a major case, we will lean on each other and ask for help and delegate different tasks. But it is the case agent's ultimate responsibility to make sure that these tasks are completed correctly and thoroughly.
Thank you. Let's turn to this case. When were you assigned or notified that you would be assigned the homicide case involving Grace Jennings?
Well, on that day, October 29, 2022, it was my day off, and I had been activated for a unrelated incident, a SWAT situation that had concluded just before this incident had occurred. I was getting ready to go home for the day, and I was contacted from my supervisor at that time, Sergeant Lisa Chaplin, and she informed me that a possible homicide investigation had occurred at the address of 5941 Jaguar Drive, and she asked if I would be willing to voluntarily go out there and start the investigation.
Okay. And did you do so?
I did so, yes.
All right. So once it was assigned to you to start the investigation, where did you go or what did you do?
Well, I felt the best thing I could do was go directly to the scene. I'm more of a visual person, so I wanted to go over there and get kind of a lay of the land, so to speak, and see what was happening. When I arrived on scene, I met with the sergeant on scene at the time, Sergeant Roberto Rodriguez, who is now a lieutenant with our agency. I kind of got a brief and a background of him, of what had allegedly transpired. I learned that a deceased body had been located within a detached garage on the property, 5941 Jaguar Drive. I came to learn that the body of the deceased was Miss Grace Jennings later on. While I was on scene, I noticed that patrol officers had secured the scene. And when I say secured, that can mean a number of things, but essentially what happened was they put crime scene tape around the crime scene to preserve it pending a search warrant. To walk around to the scene, ensured that a crime scene had been established, and then I learned that that at least 2 people had been taken back to the Santa Fe Police Department pending interviews.
Who were at least 2 of those people that had been taken to the Santa Fe Police Department for interviews?
Mr. Isaac Apodaca, the defendant in this case, who's currently in the courtroom, sitting at the defendant table wearing a black jacket and a red or maroon tie, as well as Miss Kiara McCulley, who I was told at the time was a possible suspect.
Okay. And you beat me to it. Can you go ahead and let me know if Isaac Apodaca is present in the courtroom? And since you've already identified him, could you just point to his general location?
He's right there.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that this witness identified Mr. Apodaca?
He has.
Thank you. Okay. So after walking the perimeter and getting briefed, what did you do?
I proceeded back to the Santa Fe Police Department. I knew at this time that 2 critical things needed to happen. One, a search warrant for the address needed to be completed, and the interviews needed to be completed of Mr. Apodaca and Mrs. McCulley. I delegated the completion of the search warrant of the property to an not a violent crimes detective, but he was a detective that was on call at the time. He gave testimony earlier this week, Detective Jared O'Leary. He was tasked with or delegated to complete the search warrant of the property so that I could focus on any necessary interviews at the police department.
Thank you. Prior to your interviews of Isaac Apodaca and Kiara McCulley, was there anyone else that you encountered?
Yes, there was. The victim's mother was at the police department. Putting myself in her shoes, I have children. I felt she deserved to know as soon as possible that her daughter had been found deceased. So I met with her very briefly at the police department to unfortunately give her the bad news. And then just to get a little bit of background on who everyone was. I wanted to know if she had any knowledge of who Mr. Apodaca was, who Miss Kiara McCulley was, what their relationship was, how they knew her daughter. And the reasoning was for this was so that when I went into my interviews with Mr. Apodaca and Miss Kiara McCulley, that I would have a little bit more of a contextual background as to what was going on.
Thank you. Who ultimately interviewed Isaac Apodaca?
I did.
Was there anyone else present with you?
There was Detective Mariah Gonzalez. She's no longer with our agency, but she was present for that interview. It was she was very new to the unit. It was maybe her first or second week in the unit. So she sat in on the interview purely as a spectating / training, learning viewpoint. I do not recall her asking any questions during the interview.
Thank you. Where at the Santa Fe Police Department was this interview conducted?
The interview was conducted upstairs on our second story We have a interview room, excuse me, in our criminal investigation section that is recorded with both audio and visual.
Do you recall approximately what time you began your interview of Isaac Apodaca?
Yeah, it was approximately 2:41 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay. And you were personally in the room with him?
Yes.
Okay. Did you notice anything about his appearance or demeanor?
Yeah, he seemed nervous, which isn't abnormal for anyone, going through a situation like this or being interviewed by police. He was calm but nervous, but he did seem coherent. He was speaking to me clearly. I did not observe any indicators of him being impaired, either by narcotics or by alcohol. Yeah.
Prior to the interview, did you take him anywhere else in the building?
Yes, before the interview, and because our interviews can sometimes become lengthy, I would make it a practice to ask anyone I would interview, hey, do you need the restroom? Do you need a drink of water? I believe I took Mr. Apodaca to get a drink of water before the interview.
Okay. What was the first step in your interview?
The first step of the interview, especially because there was so much unknown within the investigation, I felt that it would be wise to advise Mr. Apodaca of his constitutional Miranda rights. At this point, I did not suspect Mr. Apodaca of being a suspect, but just in case there was something that would come up that I maybe wouldn't know, I didn't want to interrupt our interview process, so I felt it would be appropriate in this part of the investigation to advise him of his constitutional rights.
Okay. Did you utilize any documents while you Mirandized Isaac Apodaca?
Yes, I did. At the Santa Fe Police Department, we have a form. It's called an advisement of constitutional rights forms, or an advisement of Miranda rights, something to that effect. And it lists out all of your constitutional rights one by one. It very clearly and articulately states them. And then there are areas for the person you are reviewing the rights with to initial that they understand every single one. And the purpose of this document is to make sure that the rights are very clearly explained to the person you're explaining them to, but also to ensure that they understand them.
Thank you. Did you preserve the Miranda form or advisement of rights form that you utilized and Mr. Apodaca signed?
Yes, I did. After it was signed and after the interview, I submitted it into evidence at the Santa Fe Police Department.
Okay. Did you alter or tamper with that document in any way?
No.
And we can review that document in a little bit. You've mentioned that your interview was recorded?
Yes.
Were you wearing your department-issued body-worn camera during your interview with Mr. Apodaca?
I had it on my person. I detached it from my person and I set it aside on the table so that it had a better view of Mr. Apodaca.
Was it operational on that date?
Yes, it was.
Did it capture video and audio of your interview with Mr. Apodaca?
Yes, it did.
Okay. And did you record all of your interactions with Mr. Apodaca?
Yes, I did.
Okay. What did you do with the footage from your body-worn camera from your interview with Mr. Apodaca?
I docked my body-worn camera and then it uploaded to our.
With Mr. Apodaca.
I docked my body-worn camera and then it uploaded to our Axon evidence database system.
What do you mean you docked it?
I docked it. We have docking stations or areas. Think of it as like an area where you can take our body cam device and you can plug it in. And then when you plug it in, it transfers any recorded data onto our cloud's Axon system so that the evidence or whatever has been recorded can be preserved. Simultaneously, the devices get any firmware updates or software updates so that they stay operating accordingly.
And did you alter or tamper with that footage in any way?
No.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
I'm approaching you with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 86. Do you recognize State's Exhibit 86?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It is the body-worn camera footage that we were just speaking to of the interview with Mr. Isaac Apodaca.
And how do you know that's what's contained on this disc?
I just reviewed it earlier now before and signed and dated it with today's date.
Other than some redactions that have been agreed upon between the parties, does this disc fairly and accurately represent the video and audio footage that you personally observed and heard in real life?
Yes, it does.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 86.
Any objection to 86?
No objection, Your Honor.
86 is admitted.
Move to publish, Your Honor.
Yes.
So Sergeant Vigil, how many clips are contained on State's Exhibit 86?
There's 3 separate clips.
And if I could just ask for IT's help, I think it's easier to publish this off the drive. It'll have less lag. Let's begin with clip number 1.
Okay. So kind of going back to last night, to yesterday, you guys are all hanging out. You, Kiara, Grace.
One moment. If I could have IT approach one more time. Your Honor, may we approach?
Yes, come on up.
So Sergeant Vigil, we're actually going to pivot for a moment, move on past your interview while we just edit some things. Let's talk about, or grab some more footage. Let's talk about the Miranda waiver and some other items that you utilized during your interview. You mentioned that you did Mirandize Isaac Apodaca.
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you, other than tagging the Miranda form, did you utilize any other forms during the course of your interview?
Yes, I did. We completed a cell phone consent to search form. This is a form where you essentially take down the information from a mobile device to include the IMEI number, any serial numbers, the description of the phone, and then you get written consent, if willingly and voluntarily given, from the owner of the device to extract the device from the cell phone.
And during the course of your interview with Mr. Apodaca, did you receive consent to go through his phone?
Yes, I did.
Who did you receive that phone from?
I received that phone from Officer Caesar Ornelas.
Okay. Your Honor, may I approach the evidence?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Sergeant Vigil, I'm approaching you with what's been previously admitted as State's Exhibit 80, or conditionally admitted as State's Exhibit 80. I'm going to ask you to examine it and tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, I do.
What is State's Exhibit 80?
Its description is an advice/waiver of constitutional rights, and I can see that it has two different points of seals. The top one I recognize as my own from my sloppy handwriting, JJV 11-2-22. And then the bottom one is also initialed and dated 6/26/25, completed by someone else. I believe the initials are CV.
What does 11-2-22 represent in terms of your seal?
That's the date when I sealed it.
And again, you did not alter or tamper with this item at all before you tagged it into evidence?
No, I did not.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to fully admit this item and publish.
Any objection to 80?
No objection, Your Honor.
80 is admitted.
I'd ask that the witness be able to utilize the court's scissors to open the exhibit.
Does this have any biological material?
It does not. Thank you. Ma'am, do you care where I open this from? Do you want me to create a new cut on top?
If that's in accordance with your department's SOPs.
Okay. Okay.
And what
That we had just described and explained. It's an advice/waiver of constitutional rights, a form from the Santa Fe Police Department. And would you like me to read through it?
if you'll just hit the basic points.
Yep, it essentially outlines who is conducting the interview. My name is listed up at the top, Detective Javier Vigil. And then it appears to have the initials of Isaac Apodaca through each of his constitutional rights, as well as the case number pertaining to this incident, the date that this was completed, which was October 29, 2022. And then this appears to be the signature of Mr. Isaac Apodaca, dated October 29, 2022, timed at 3:46 p.m. And then my signature at the bottom, along with Detective Mariah Gonzalez's signature at the bottom.
And is this the actual form that Mr. Apodaca signed and initialed in front of you during your interview?
Yes, this is the original.
Your Honor, move to publish using the Elmo.
Yes,
May I first witness?
yes.
And then if I can clarify something I believe I told you earlier that the interview started around 2:40 p.m. I was mistaken. It was 3:40 p.m.
And we see that time noted toward the bottom of the document, is that correct?
Yes, the 3:46.
And it says on toward the bottom of the document, signature of parent if a juvenile, and next to that is NA. What does that stand for?
Not applicable because the defendant in this case was not a juvenile.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'll hand this back to you, Sergeant, and I'll just ask that you place it back into the evidence folder.
Yes. Thank you.
During the course of your interview, did you ask Mr. Apodaca to draw anything for you?
Yes, I did. During our interview, Mr. Apodaca described to me the layout of the address where the incident occurred, 5941 Jaguar Drive, and he also described several bladed weapons that were on scene. This included a sword, which you all saw earlier, a dagger, which you all saw earlier, as well as what he described as a butterfly knife, which, to my knowledge, was never recovered or observed at the scene.
Did you preserve those drawings that Mr. Apodaca made during the course of your interview?
Yes, I did. Just like the advisement of constitutional rights, it was submitted into evidence.
Did you alter or tamper with those documents in any way?
No, I did not.
May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Sergeant Vigil, I'm approaching you with what's been conditionally admitted as State's Exhibit 79. I'll have you examine it. Tell me if you recognize it.
Yes, the description on this says drawings completed by Mr. Isaac Apodaca. It shows that it was collected by myself on October 29, 2022. It has the case number associated to this incident. On the top, I can see my sloppy handwriting, initials and date, JJV 11/2/2022. And on the bottom, there appears to be a secondary seal, MJ or MT, maybe Maria Tena, dated 3/4/2026.
And you personally tagged those items?
Yes, I did.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit what's been previously conditionally admitted as State's Exhibit 79.
Any objection to 79?
Defense has no objection.
79 is admitted without objection.
Move to publish, Your Honor.
You may.
Following the same procedure, Sergeant Vigil, I'd ask that you open those documents.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Can you please arrange those documents in the order that you would prefer to discuss them?
Okay, they're arranged.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
So I'll take those from you, Sergeant Vigil, and I'll place them on the Elmo.
Okay.
How many sheets in the exhibit?
4.
Sergeant, let's begin with this first page that you placed on top. What's visible in this first page?
So as I had stated, this was the overhead drawing from that Mr. Isaac Apodaca completed, the overview of the incident location, 5941 Jaguar Drive. You can see the address there written on what appears to be an illustration of a building closest to what is written as Jaguar Drive. And then it shows the boundaries of the property, and then the other little square representing the dwelling on the top part of the paper labeled as garage. And then it appears as though Mr. Apodaca wrote where the TV is at, and that Grace and Kiara were inside of the garage. It's also signed and dated at the bottom. That appears to be either Mr. Apodaca's signature or initials, along with the date of 10/29/2022.
Let's go to the second document. What was the second document contained within the exhibit?
The second document was what Mr. Isaac Apodaca described as a sword that was there on scene and that was used during the incident. It was described as stainless steel with a black hilt and a black sheath, otherwise known as a scabbard. As you see in parentheses next to the stainless steel part, it's written battle ready. I was, and you'll see in the interview later on, I was advised that this meant that it was very sharp. Again, at the bottom, it's dated 10/29/2022 and appears to have Mr. Apodaca's either signature or initials.
Thank you. Let's go to the third document contained within the exhibit. What is this exhibit?
This exhibit was the dagger that the jury saw earlier this week. Same thing, stainless steel in parentheses with battle ready next to stainless steel. Again, as described by Mr. Apodaca, is meaning of a very sharp, or something to the effect of very sharp. A black guard was also used to describe it, as well as a brown handle. And again, on the bottom, we have the date of 10/29/22 and either Mr. Apodaca's signature or initials.
And this third document contained within State 79.
This was the described butterfly knife by Mr. Isaac Apodaca, described as having a black blade, black handle with, I'm not entirely sure what that says at the end, nor do I recall what he said that was. Again, it's dated at the bottom 10/29/22, and there is a signature and or initials from what appears to be from Mr. Isaac Apodaca. Again, this butterfly knife, I never came across in my investigation physically when the scene was processed.
Thank you. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sergeant Beal, I just ask that you place these back in the evidence folder for this item.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Let's talk for a minute about your interview with Kiara McCulley. After your interview with Isaac Apodaca, were you able to interview anyone else at the Santa Fe Police Department station?
Yes, after I concluded my interview with Mr. Isaac Apodaca, I interviewed Ms. Kiara McCulley.
Did you Mirandize her?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And did you speak with her?
Yes, I did.
Without relaying anything that Ms. McCulley stated or said during her interview, can you please inform the jury what you noticed about Ms. McCulley's demeanor during the interview?
It was abnormal. She had little like twitches and unusual things that she would do while she would talk. Sometimes she would seem like she was talking to herself. Yeah, just a little bizarre and unusual.
Again, without saying anything she may have said during her interview, at any point did she show you anything on her body?
Yes, during the interview, she did show me some of the tattoos that she had on her arms and on her hands.
The jury's already heard that after your interview of Kiara, we know that she and Isaac were both photographed. But was anyone else interviewed at the station that afternoon or evening?
Yes, Miss Lanny McCulley was interviewed at the police department. I did not conduct that interview myself. That was delegated to Detective Jared O'Leary.
Have you reviewed that interview or been briefed on it by Detective O'Leary?
Yes.
After your interview of Isaac and Kiara, that on October 29th, 2022, what were the next initial steps in your investigation?
A couple days after I interviewed or spoke with again to the victim's mother, Roma, and then I did my own formal interview with Miss Lanny McCulley, or I'm sorry, not Lanny McCulley, the defendant's mother. Her name is slipping my memory right now.
Does Linda Montoya sound accurate?
That's the one, yes.
And what was the purpose of your interview with Grace's mother?
Just to gather more information from an investigative standpoint, figure out more how all the puzzle pieces fit together, and see if she had anything else relevant to the investigation.
And the purpose of your interview with Ms. Montoya and her family?
The exact same thing.
Let's discuss search warrants. How many search warrants did you obtain throughout the course of your investigation?
Approximately 15.
Okay. And I won't ask you to name all 15, but what categories or types of warrants did you obtain?
There were several cell phones involved in this investigation, so I did search warrants for all the cell phones involved. The only one that I did not do a search warrant for was for Lanny McCulley's cell phone. She gave written consent for that one. In regards to Mr. Apodaca and Mr. Kiara McCulley's cell phone, even though they had given consent to go through their phones, I went above and beyond and completed search warrants anyways, just to ensure there wouldn't be any issues with that from a legal standpoint moving forward. In addition to the cell phones, I completed search warrants for various social media accounts, namely the Facebook accounts, 2 for Kiara McCulley, 2 for Isaac Apodaca, and 1 for the victim, Miss Grace Jennings. I completed search warrants for 2 devices that were found on the scene, a tablet device as well as a computer device. And then I completed search warrants for the DNA standards of both Mr. Isaac Apodaca and Miss Kiara McCulley to be compared with any potential evidence that was maybe collected at the scene.
You mentioned social media warrants. What platform or company did you obtain social media warrants for?
Facebook, I believe, or around that time, they're transferring to officially being referred to as Meta, but Facebook and or Meta.
Okay. Have you ever used Facebook yourself?
Yes, I have.
Okay. And what features have you personally used on Facebook that allow you to be familiar with it?
Pretty much all of them. You can keep in touch with friends, look at different timelines, post stuff on your account for selected friends to see or the public to see. There is an associated communication application with Facebook, commonly referred to as Facebook Messenger. Through that platform, I've had personal experience communicating and sending messages through that, as well as making and receiving phone calls through that platform.
Describe kind of the experience of using Facebook Messenger to communicate with someone.
Facebook Messenger, for all intents and purposes, is just like sending a text message. You type a message in it and you can send it to one of your friends or to someone, and then you can get a response from it, but it's no different than text messaging. The phone call feature for Facebook Messenger, it's also similar to making a normal phone call. It's just with lack of having a designated phone number or having a cell phone company carrier.
So instead of calling a phone number, are you calling that person's account, essentially?
Yes.
Okay. As a member of law enforcement, do you have any tools available to you regarding Facebook or Meta?
Yes, Facebook/Meta has a what's referred to as a law enforcement portal. And this is an area within the Facebook website where law enforcement can go and make various requests, such as preservation requests, or submit search warrants or other forms of legal authority for Facebook to then review, and if legally sufficient, provide whatever information is being requested.
And what is the purpose of a Facebook preservation request?
A Facebook preservation request is something that we do very early on in this investigation. I believe I delegated Detective Richard Hildebrandt to do the Facebook preservations for this request. And what a Facebook preservation does is it's a document signed by a law enforcement professional or affiliate to send to Facebook and let them know that there's data on an account that we need them to save for us and not delete or not allow to be deleted. The reason for this is some social media platforms, maybe they erase data every so many days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, that they don't have an abundance of data. Or maybe the user of the account may go and be able to delete information before we can access it. So it's our way of saying, hey, Facebook, we are going to be getting a search warrant for this data between these dates and these times. But for now, can you please just save it and not make sure it gets deleted or nothing happens to it so that we can access it at a later time?
Thank you. And you stated that in your investigation, you identified how many Facebook accounts belonging to Isaac Apodaca?
2.
Okay, and what were the usernames for those accounts, if you recall?
If I recall correctly, one was just under his name, Isaac Apodaca, and then the second one was under the name Knull Void, Knull spelled with a K, so K-N-U-L-L.
And the last name? Or the second part of the username, I should say?
Yeah, Void, V as in Victor, O-I-D.
Did you obtain, after preserving, did you ultimately obtain search warrants for both of those accounts?
Yes, I did.
How did you determine that the Knull Void account was related to Isaac Apodaca since it didn't have his name?
When I completed the search warrant for the first account of Isaac Apodaca under his name, there's a section within the records that shows related accounts that user might also have, and that's when I came across the account of Knull Void and did a search warrant for that account.
As to the Facebook search warrant return for the Isaac Apodaca labeled account, what did you find as it relates to this case?
The one with his name on it, nothing of significant relevance.
Okay. Let's go back and give a little bit of context. During the course of your interview with Isaac Apodaca, you mentioned that you accessed his phone with his permission. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And when you accessed his phone with his permission during your interview, what apps or accounts did you access on his phone?
His text messaging, his standard text messages, as well as his Facebook Messenger.
And our standard text messages, sometimes called SMS text messages?
That's correct, yes.
So when you were in his Facebook Messenger, were you able to review messages?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you review those with Mr. Apodaca?
Yes, I did during the interview.
Okay. And once you obtained these were physically on his device that you were able to review them?
Yes, they were.
Okay. When you obtained the search warrant return for the Knull Void account, what did you observe in that account as it relates to messages?
The Knull Void account messages were consistent with the messages that I observed on October 29, 2022 during the interview with Mr. Isaac Apodaca when we reviewed his phone together.
Okay. When you say consistent, what do you mean?
They were the same.
Okay.
Same time and date stamps, same messages, same everything.
And who was that account communicating with in the Facebook returns?
An account owned by Kiara McCulley.
Okay. And do you remember her username?
I believe it was Froggy.
And did you obtain a search warrant return or a search warrant for that account?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And when you received that return, what did you observe? What, if anything, did you observe in the messages as it relates to the ones that you observed in the Knull Void account?
The same thing. They were all consistent. They were all the same messages. So to clarify, the messages that I looked at the day of the interview with Mr. Apodaca, with his consent when we were going through his phone, were the same ones, the same Facebook messages when I got back the search warrant returns for the accounts associated with Kiara McCulley and Mr. Isaac Apodaca. also referred to with the usernames Knull Void with Mr. Isaac Apodaca and Froggy for Ms. Kiara McCulley. So everything was, as I said, consistent, the same.
Ms. Murphy, I need to interrupt you. We need to take a quick break. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would go with the bailiff to the back, and we'll bring you back out in just about 5 minutes.
All rise.
You may be seated in the courtroom. Counsel, would you approach, please? On the record outside the hearing presence of the jury. The juror is Ms. Lujan. Two things. One is I mentioned at the bench earlier that I had observed that she appeared to be nodding off a couple of times, 3 times since they've come back in. Also, the bailiff, when I asked who her name was, indicated that she had told him that she was in some type of an accident this weekend and was having a hard time concentrating on what was happening. So let's call her in and see how she's doing.
That's considered. Thank you, Judge.
Do we know if she's seated or if she's an alternate?
What's that?
She's seated. She's
me
right.
see.
I think she's like number 3.
She's juror number 2. Off the record until she comes in. We're back on the record. Hi. The reason I wanted to call you back in and talk to you was noticing that you seem to be having a hard time staying awake. I saw you nod off a couple of times and maybe even a third time.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
It's been stressful. I just got into a car accident, so I haven't slept.
When did that happen? I'm sorry.
But 12 o'clock last night on my way home from work.
So you haven't, on the way home from work, so you haven't
Slept.
been asleep?
No.
Have you been able to pay attention to what's happening in the testimony or having a
Yeah, I'm
different?
paying attention. I'm just having a hard time keeping my eyes open.
Okay. Those are the court's questions. Counsel, do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
On behalf of Mr. Apodaca, any questions?
Were you able to pay attention to the testimony of the detective today?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think the accident could affect your ability to process information?
No, I'm just having an issue like staying awake. Like I didn't hit my head or anything. I just haven't slept.
You think you can stay awake?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Okay. And you weren't able to fall asleep. You were on medication as well, you said?
No, well, I do take, I am on methadone, but I haven't taken it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No other questions, yeah.
Okay, thank you. We'll call you back in just a minute.
Lujan.
She was seated number 3 on your list, so she's juror number 2 on this panel. Concerns, issues, requests from the state?
Your Honor, I think it would be prudent to strike her at this time. She has not slept, which I think is very different than a prior juror who had like a temporary nod off. She said she did say she was having a hard time keeping her eyes open. We're very, very early on in the day. Obviously, she's not going to have the opportunity to sleep as the day goes on. So there's not a reasonable expectation that this would improve for her physically. So I think it would be appropriate to remove her. She also was in a car. She said she was in a car accident at midnight last night. So the lack of sleep, the difficulty keeping her eyes open.
On behalf of Mr. Apodaca,
Yeah, Judge, 1 second.
Mr. Mayor.
So Judge, she hasn't taken her methadone? At the same time, she'll get sick and she'll probably won't be able to make it here eventually anyway. So I think at this point, we're going to agree with the state.
Okay. She'll be struck at this point in time. I'll give instructions to the bailiff to go ahead and release her, and then he'll walk her out. Okay.
That brings up an issue about the alternates.
So alternate number 1 would become juror number 12, and that was the juror seated number 44. Okay? All right.
Let me just retrieve my next exhibit from the back room and then.
Go ahead. You can have a seat, gentlemen. We're off the record. May be seated in the courtroom, ladies and gentlemen. We continue in the state's case in chief. Ms. Murphy.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sergeant Vigil, we were talking about the Froggy Facebook account and the Knull Void Facebook account. When you obtained the records for the Froggy account, Kiara McCulley's account, and the Knull Void account that you determined to belong to Isaac Apodaca, did the messages in each of those accounts align with one another?
Yes, the messages align with each other. The ones between the two accounts were the same.
Thank you. And are those the same messages that you reviewed physically on Isaac Apodaca's phone during your interview with him?
Yes.
Okay. When you receive a search warrant return from Meta for Facebook account records, does that come with a certificate of authenticity of domestic records of regularly conducted activity?
Yes, it does.
Okay. And did you receive one of those certificates of authenticity for each of the accounts that you pulled?
Yes, I did.
And was it was it the Froggy McCullough account that, and the account identifier ended in 5266?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sir, I'm approaching what's been previously identified in court as State's Exhibit 85. Can you take a look at 85 and tell me if you recognize it?
Yes, I do.
What is Exhibit 85?
It's the certificate of authenticity of domestic records of regularly conducted activity, signed by a Katie Newman. Her title is Custodian of Records. And this is a documentation that she certifies that the records from Meta platforms, aka Facebook, are authentic.
Your Honor, at this time I move to admit State's Exhibit 85.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
85 is admitted.
May I publish?
Yes.
Does this contain the language that accompanied your Facebook return for the Kiara McCulley, aka Froggy McCullough, Facebook account?
Yes, it did.
Okay, and I see a very lengthy number. I'm going to use my pen to identify it. Can you just read this first four or the last four digits of that account identifier?
Yeah, the last four numerics of that account identifier are 5266.
Thank you. When you receive these search warrant returns, for Facebook messages, what time zone are the messages logged in?
The time zone those messages are logged in are UTC, otherwise known as Coordinated Universal Time.
Are you familiar with UTC or Coordinated Universal Time?
Yes, I am.
How are you familiar with UTC?
I had experience with UTC time through my time in the military, the United States Marine Corps, as well as explanation and exposure to it through a mobile device investigations class that I took.
Okay, and what is it?
Coordinated Universal Time, UTC time, is essentially a way for the entire world to all have one frame of reference for keeping track of time. So, as you all know, like here in New Mexico, we observe daylight savings, but some other states, they might not, which can create inconsistencies if we're all trying to be on the same page of time. Now, UTC time is commonly associated with GMT time, which is a Greenwich Mean Time. And all that basically means is that's where, at that location in Greenwich, England, is where the longitude is at 0. So they use that area, that rough area, as a point of reference for UTC time to be 0. they're going positive UTC time or negative UTC time. Here in New Mexico, because of daylight savings, we are UTC time either -6 or -7, depending on the time of year.
And in October, or on October 29th of 2022, would we have been -6 or -7?
We were -6 on that date and time.
Okay, and when we look at individuals' body cameras in the top right corner, we see a -6 next to the local time. Is that an indication of UTC time?
Yes,
Okay, when you receive messages from Facebook, those messages are in UTC time?
correct.
So in order to kind of convert it to the local time, what do we have to do?
Subtract 6.
Okay, and are they in a 12-hour time format or a 24-hour or military time format?
A 24-hour time or military time format.
Okay, so going to make you do some math on the fly. If a record is noted at being sent or received at UTC, or at 20 hours, or 2000, what would that be in local time?
This is the part I was most nervous about, the math. 2000 is the equivalent of 8 p.m., so -6 hours off of that would put us at 2 p.m. or 1400 hours.
So subtract 6 and convert when necessary.
Yes.
All right, thank you. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Sergeant Vigil, I'm approaching you with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 8. Exhibit 87.
It's records of the Facebook account messages from Miss Kiara McCulley's account. I reviewed them today. This is my signature and today's date on it, 7/13 of 2022.
And does this exhibit fairly and accurately depict the messages that were exchanged between the Froggy McCullough account and the Knull Void account in the October 28th to October 29th timeframe as it relates to this case?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 87.
Any objection to 87?
No objection from defense.
87 is admitted.
Move to publish, Your Honor.
Yes.
And I'll be publishing off of the hard drive.
Well, she sets it up, ladies and gentlemen. The reason we do it this way is there's less lag on the hard drive than what's on the disk, but the information has been verified to be the same.
Just zoom up a little bit. And Your Honor, if the court would inquire whether the jurors can see that text at that zoom level on their monitors?
Can you read that from where you're sitting? Yes, that's what they're indicating.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so
If you need to move at all to get a clearer view, you can do that. And it's also up on the large monitors in the courtroom. Go ahead, counsel.
thank you. Let's just orient the jury to a few things before we begin reading the text themselves. At the top of the page in a blue box, what information do you see?
It says Meta Platforms Business Record, page 32.
Okay, and under the author section of the records, who's listed as the author?
For the first message, it has Froggy McCullough, and the user ID is the last 4 of 5266.
So does that mean that these are messages that you've pulled from the Froggy McCullough account?
Yes.
Okay, and down a little ways, we see a third message with an author listed as Knull Void. Do you see that?
I do.
And can you just read for the jury the last 4 digits of that Facebook identifier?
8199.
Did you receive those the messages as they were in the Knull Void account, 8199?
Yes.
Okay, and were those messages the exact same as the ones in the Froggy McCullough account?
Yes.
Okay. So starting with these messages, we won't read every single one, understanding that the jury will have the opportunity to. What was the date and time that the first message was sent? I'll first have you read it in UTC, and then I'll make you do some math on the fly.
Yeah, UTC time for this one was dated 2022, 10/29, 05, 4, 8, and 12 seconds of UTC time. That's 5 a.m. in the morning. If we subtract 6 from that, don't quote my math on it, but I believe that would put us at 23, 48 hours and 12 seconds, otherwise known as 11:48 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
And what does that first message say?
Have her drop off her shot and the cat, then go to the park. My mom is up. ATM, I need a quick escape. I'm going to go to the porch. Avoid the porch.
Then the next message?
Did y'all just get to the garage?
I should clarify, is this conversation exclusively between the Froggy McCullough and the Knull Void accounts?
Yes, from what I can interpret, yes.
And so after the Froggy McCullough account asks, did y'all just get to the garage, what does Knull Void respond?
Stay in the back room.
Okay. And what do they say back?
Froggy McCullough replies back, I'm already on the porch with the door locked.
In the course of your investigation, in particular your interview with Isaac Apodaca, did Isaac tell you the time that Grace arrived at 5941 Jaguar?
I'd probably have to refer to my my report to see more of a definite time on that. I know an approximation offhand.
What's the approximation?
Between about around 2,300 hours or 11 p.m. on October 28th, 2022.
And when we do the UTC conversion from 5:48 a.m. on October 29th, and we subtract 6, does that change the date as well?
Yes, it does. It brings it to the day before.
Okay, so these messages would have started at approximately 11:48 p.m. on October 28th. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. See if it will let me. Sorry, when I cast to the second monitor, it is glitchy. Okay. Going to this next message at 5:57 UTC, which would be just before midnight. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. What does the Froggy McCullough account say?
What's going on? I'm thinking to head to the park.
Okay. And at 5:58, what does Froggy McCullough say?
The one after Knull Void, the 558 one says, I'll LYK, which I believe means let you know. When I get there, then you head there.
And what does Knull Void respond?
I'll head there shortly.
And what does Froggy McCullough respond?
She's with you, yes?
And what does Knull Void state?
Yes.
Okay. And then Knull Void again at 6:04 UTC?
We are talking, but we will head there shortly.
And then Froggy's next response?
In the body of it is some kind of like an image or something like that.
So when we see those two little square type brackets, what does that mean in terms of what you were able to see in the messages on the phone?
From my investigation, I learned to see that means it's like some kind of emoji or some kind of picture or something that was sent that isn't encapsulated on this particular record.
Do you recall the type of emoji that the Froggy McCullough would most frequently use in this context?
Yeah, it was like some kind of like dog or something like that.
Or did she ever use a mushroom?
Yeah, she'd use a mushroom as well, yeah.
And is that something you discussed with Isaac Apodaca?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, so what does Froggy McCullough then say after she sends some sort of emoji?
I'm sitting at the table, make it seem as though you promised to meet with a friend.
Going to page 33, which is being... What does Froggy McCullough say then?
I'm going to call you and act like you almost forgot.
And then it appears there's another emoji.
Correct.
And what after that at 6:12?
Maybe I should just come home and scare her. And then she says, I'm bored right now. And then she says, should I just come home and go into my room and freak her the fuck out?
Can we approach?
Yes. Appointments. You may continue.
Thank you. So after the message stating, should I just come home and go into my room and freak her the fuck out, what did the Knull Void account respond?
We'll come talk to her.
Okay. And what was the next message?
From Froggy, you're coming to me or I'm coming to you. And then should I keep reading them as you scroll through for sake of time?
Please.
Okay. Froggy then says, why should I bother talking to her? Knull Void responds, you come to me. I told her you want to talk to her and no arguing. Froggy then replies, I'm angry, hun. Knull Void states, I know, but it's better to reach a common sense of direction. Froggy then says, is the door unlocked? Froggy sends another message, I look like a monster, dude. Knull Void says, yes.
And I'll have you just slow down a little bit. So
Sure.
So after Froggy McCulley says, I look like a monster, dude, what does the Knull Void account respond?
Yes.
Going to page 34.
Froggy says, I don't have anything nice to say. And I'd like to note that now we're at 6:53 UTC time, which would be past midnight. So 12:53 a.m. on October 29th, 2022. Knull Void states, I know, but be kind with your words. Like when me and you talk, instead of violence, show compassion. Froggy appears to send some kind of emoji or picture. Knull Void replies, you know what I mean, platypus? Knull Void then states, rar, rar. Froggy then says, get the conversation rolling, dude. I'm not feeling nice. Froggy then says, you're too nice to make me feel good, RN.
Are you familiar with text lingo?
Yes, I am. So RN, in my interpretation, is right now.
And about how much time has gone by between the message from the Froggy account saying, "You're too nice to make me feel good right now," to get her to talk?
It appears approximately 14 minutes. Froggy then states, "Not just fun stuff." Froggy sends another message stating, "I have things I want to talk about," but she's not going to respond well. She's never been the one to listen. Froggy then says, "Get her to talk so I have somewhere I can butt in." Knull Void then responds, "Okay." Froggy then states, "I want to play a couple songs, but I don't know how to talk." And then just to keep everyone on track with where we are on time, at 7:56 UTC time, backtracking that, we are now 1:56 in the morning.
And what does Froggy state at 1:56 in the morning?
I'm uncomfortable.
And going to page 35, what does the Knull Void account respond?
Lay your head on me. Then Froggy replies, "Brat." Froggy sends another message that says, "Go in the house for a bit." Knull Void replies, "What is going on, Puggy, Talkie?"
And let me stop you there. Puggy, was that a name or nickname that came up in the course of your interviews?
Yes, in the course of my interviews, I learned that that was a nickname that Mr. Isaac Apodaca would refer to Miss Kiara McCulley by.
Would he also use Puggle?
Yes. Froggy then states, "Trust me, just go inside for a bit. Just say you need the bathroom." Knull Void, in his next at least 3 messages, appears to send some kind of emoji or picture. And then Knull Void says, "Hey, can I come back?" Froggy responds, "I don't know, can you? LOL." LOL meaning laugh out loud. Froggy then appears to send some kind of emoji or a picture. Froggy says yes. Knull Void replies and says, "Dagger because it's blunt."
And what time is this dagger because it's blunt message sent?
9:09:29 UTC time on the 29th. Backtracking that 6 hours would put us, don't quote my math, but it's 03:29, so 3:29 a.m. on October 29th, 2022.
And the Knull Void account sent this to Froggy McCullough.
Correct.
Okay, let me just scroll before I have you keep reading. Okay, after Knull Void says dagger because it's blunt, what does Froggy McCullough respond?
Why is blunt better? The Knull Void replies, "Cuts like butter." Then Froggy states, "Just gonna stab the thought." Knull Void responds by saying yes. Froggy states, "Instant or will it take long?"
And what does Knull Void respond?
Instant. And that's at 09:30 UTC time, backtracking 03:30 a.m. on the 29th.
Okay, and now going to this portion, at 9:31 and 5 seconds UTC, what does Froggy McCullough state?
She states, "What do we do about the mess?" Knull Void responds by saying, "We burn it. I'll buy new blankets and bed." Froggy then says, "But until we can, I love these sheets, and my favorite fuzzy blanket is here." Knull Void then replies by saying, "I know." Froggy then says, "Just intense wash tomorrow. Hydrogen peroxide and ice waster will get it out." No.
Let me stop you for one moment.
Sure.
When you were reviewing these messages with Isaac Apodaca, did you ask him about this conversation regarding a cleanup?
Yes, I did.
And just briefly explain to the jury what Mr. Apodaca said this mess was going to refer to.
I wanted to know what he meant by that, and he referred to it as there was poop on the bed, that someone had maybe defecated on the bed or an animal or something like that.
And in the course of the search warrants and the bedding that was collected in this case, to your knowledge, was there ever any feces documented in the bed?
No, there never was.
Okay. After the Froggy McCullough message about an intense wash tomorrow and hydrogen peroxide, What did Knull Void respond?
He says yes. And then Froggy replies with, "Can you help this time?"
And Knull Void responds?
"Yes, I am just waiting for you to make the first move." Then Froggy replies with, "Shall we wait till sleep?" And then Knull Void states, "Remember when you told me don't be a pussy when I kissed you?"
And what time are these messages being sent?
That last one I just read was sent at 9:34 UTC time, converting to our local time on that date and time. That would have been 3:34 a.m. on October 29th, 2022.
How many seconds are there between the "shall we wait till sleep" text and the response of "remember when you told me don't be a pussy when I kissed you" message?
From this record here, there is 1 second that has transpired between those two messages that were sent.
Going to page 37, what does Froggy McCulley respond to the Knull Void message?
She responds, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." And then she sends another message that says, "Brat."
And then at 9:34:54,
She says, Froggy account says, "We will have to take care of the mess ASAP, ASAP, as soon as possible after we finish." Knull Void replies by saying, "Yes." And then Froggy replies and says, "You're in charge of cleanup."
just let me, after the Froggy account says you're in charge of cleanup, what does Knull Void respond?
Knull Void says, "Okay." And then Froggy says, "I can't tell if she's falling asleep."
Okay.
And
And what does Knull Void say?
Knull Void says, "It feel like her feet are on my side." And then Froggy says, "I wish you'd make the first move for once." Knull Void then says, "Puggle, remember, you'll move up the ranks plus you get perks in the black market since this is your first." Froggy says,
Just let me scroll 1 second.
"Sure."
So after the Knull Void account states Puggle, and mentions moving up the ranks and perks in the black market, what does the Froggy McCulley account respond with?
"How do I aim right?"
And what does Knull Void respond?
"Just aim."
What does Froggy say?
"Tell me when."
And what does Knull Void say?
"Okay, I'll give a count."
So going to page 38 of the records, which is 7 of the exhibit, what does Knull Void then do?
Knull Void then sends a series of messages, 6 followed by 5. Froggy responds and says, "I can't yet, dude." Then Knull Void says 4. It appears to me as though there's a countdown happening. Froggy then says, "I'm shaking, dude." Knull Void then says, "I know, lose the nervous." Knull Void then says, "Puggy." And then the Froggy account says, "Help me drive it through." And our current time at that last message is 0941 UTC time, which would convert over to 3:41 a.m. local time.
Okay. And I'm going to scroll down before I have you keep reading anymore.
Okay.
What does Froggy McCulley respond with next at 9:42:02?
"Anger me."
And what does Knull Void respond?
"I invited Brittany."
Okay.
Then Froggy says, "That's annoying." Froggy then says, "Not angering." Knull Void replies, "Oh." Then Froggy says, "And if it goes wrong, then what?"
At 9:44, what's noted?
It appears Knull Void received a video chat with Otter, but missed that video chat. And then the next at least 2 messages appear to be Knull Void sending 2 emojis or pictures. Actually, the next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, several messages are Knull Void sending some kind of picture or GIF or something to that effect. At one point, Froggy McCulley at 9:45 UTC time sends a question mark.
Okay. And then what does the Knull Void account do?
Sends another series of the same unknown images.
Okay. And I think you mentioned previously, when you reviewed his cell phone with him as the messages appear on the phone, were you able to see the emojis?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And did you preserve those images?
I did.
Okay. Talk about that a little bit. All right. What did, and I can back up if I went a little too fast. Going from page 39 into page 40, at 9:45:48, what does the Froggy McCulley account state?
You're cute.
And what did Knull Void reply?
How so? And then Froggy appears to send some kind of image that is captured on these records.
Okay. And can you just describe that image?
I don't know, a cat or I don't know, something.
A cartoon animal?
Yeah.
Okay. And so we'll go through was this image sent multiple times?
Yes.
Scrolling into page 43, has this image just kind of continually been sent?
It has. And as you're scrolling, it appears these are all still Froggy sending them.
Thank you. We're now on page 47. Is that same message just being kind of continually sent?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We're now at page 53. Is that message just continually been sent throughout?
Yes.
Okay. And now going to page 54.
The Froggy account at 9:46 UTC time converted to local is 3:46 a.m. on October 29th, 2022. Froggy says LOL. Knull Void replies by saying Fred.
What does Froggy McCulley then say at 9:46:56?
My leg is asleep and spasming. Knull Void responds by saying, I know she is also shivering a lot and I'm ticklish, LMAO. LMAO meaning, I believe, laugh my ass off.
Okay.
Froggy then says, sorry.
During this time, did you learn from Isaac where everyone was located in the garage throughout the night?
Yes, I did.
Where were they?
They were all co-sleeping on the same bed. Isaac was sleeping at the foot of the bed.
Thank you. And by sleeping, what do you mean? Do you mean sleeping or do you mean something different?
Laying on the bed, at the foot of the bed.
Okay. So after Froggy McCulley responds sorry at 9:48:04, what does she say at 9:49:49 UTC?
Anger me.
Okay. And what does Knull Void respond?
Well, for one, you can't look at your face. And then Froggy replies, remind me of everything she's done. This could have already if you had done the OG plan. Knull Void then states at 9:52 UTC time, converted now to 3:52 a.m., October 29th, 2022. She hurt you and had sold you into sex trade. Had you not flown out after the crash, she would have gone away with making you disappear. Froggy says, keep going. Knull Void replies by saying she is still lying. Looks like maybe some kind of image was sent there in that message. She is still lying about a lot and she's not willing to admit that she is the biggest piece of shit. Froggy says, keep going. Knull Void says, she makes you feel horrible for your skin color and your beliefs. Knull Void then says, I'm going to pretend to sleep so it looks non-conspicuous.
In your interviews with Isaac and your review of the records in the case, did you become aware of who they were discussing in this conversation?
Yes, I did.
Who were they discussing?
The victim, Miss Grace Jennings.
Thank you. So now at 9:58:35, what does Froggy McCulley say?
Help me. And then Knull Void responds and says, just do it. Froggy replies and says, be ready to grab her or a trash bag. Knull Void says, she is your list. Knull Void then says, if you can't do it, I'll place a unknown image on her for you to watch.
What does Knull Void then say after saying they will place with an emoji on her for you to watch?
He says, want me to do that? Then Froggy says, this ends now.
And what time is this message sent of this ends now?
Now we're at 10:02 UTC time. Converting to our local time, it would have been 4:02 a.m. in the morning on October 29, 2022.
And after she sends the this ends now message, what is the next message that is sent?
Froggy says, I getting sword. Then Knull Void appears to reply and say, I can get Christian to help and Chris.
What does Froggy say?
Froggy says, this ends now. Knull Void says, I know. Then at 10:04 UTC time, which translates to 4:04 a.m. Local time, Knull Void says, dagger, because the sword will need to be hidden. Knull Void sends another message that says she is awake. And then Froggy replies by saying IDK, which I believe means I don't know if I have the strength.
I'll just have you pause while I scroll. Starting at 10:06:09 UTC, what does Knull Void say?
Her phone screen is dim. And then Knull Void sends another message that says, also, if you can't do it, I'll have them do it, and it will still count as your first. I'll just rewrite the report and submit it to the black market heads.
Okay.
Froggy then says, I don't think the dagger will go through both hoodies. Knull Void then says, I'm willing to falsify your first.
Okay. And there is an image that comes through on this one after first. Can you tell what that image is?
That image appears to be a skull and a crossbones image.
Okay.
Then Froggy then says, let me do this.
And then what's the next message?
I'm using Zira.
And then what does Knull Void say at 10:09:03?
And deposit your Bitcoin in your crypto wallet.
Okay. So what is the amount of time that transpires between Froggy McCulley saying that she's using Zira or Shira at 10:09:02 and Knull Void responding and stating, and deposit your Bitcoin in your crypto wallet?
1 second.
What does Froggy McCulley then say?
Grab a knife now. And then going from page 56 to 57, it appears the Froggy account says, you're helping me end this. Knull Void then says, then end it. The Froggy account then says, I'm done waiting and playing nice. Help me now. Show me the ropes. Then the Knull Void account replies, I am saying just swing and don't regret the aim. Knull Void sends another message that says, what is holding you back? Another message from Knull Void says, type it.
Let me just scroll, get that at the top. What does Froggy McCulley respond at 10:19, 10 seconds?
Hope, period, love, period, bullshit, period.
And what does Knull Void respond?
Well, at what percentage are they?
And Froggy?
IDK, which I believe means I don't know. Then Knull Void replies by saying, you still love her? Knull Void then says, you have hope in her? Knull Void sends another message that says, and you're tired of the bullshit she put you through?
Scroll.
Then at
What does Froggy
10:20,
then respond with at 10:24:28?
I want to break her heart. She hurt me more while you were out. Knull Void replies and says, how? And then Knull Void sends another message between page 57 and 58, which says, then target Jackson.
In the course of your investigation, did you learn of somebody named Jackson?
Yes, I did.
And what was the relationship or prior relationship between Grace and Jackson prior to this night?
I can't recall at this time.
At 10:26 and 0 seconds, what does Froggy McCulley say to Knull Void?
Once it's done, there's no one doing it.
And what does Knull Void say?
Okay. Knull Void then says, want the barn? Because you'll get to have a lot of fun with your hunt. Knull Void sends another message that says, and the screams cannot be heard, soundproof walls. Knull Void then says, middle of nowhere. And then Froggy says, I need this done now. I need that push.
I want to talk briefly about the term the barn. Did that come up anywhere on any other devices in the course of your investigation?
Yes, it did.
Where did that term appear on other in the course of your investigation?
During my investigation, I received a Cellbrite report, a data report of Mr. Isaac Apodaca's cell phone. This extraction and report was completed by Detective Ryan Romero, whose testimony you all heard earlier this in the course of this trial. And within that extraction, that Cellbrite extraction, which I reviewed, there were some Google searches referencing the barn.
And that was on Isaac Apodaca's cell phone?
That's correct.
Right. After Knull Void states middle of nowhere at 10:38:56, I think I may have had you read this already, but I apologize. What does Froggy McCulley respond at 10:38:57?
I need this done now. I need that push. And then the Froggy account says, but first I need to pee. The Knull Void account responds, pee. The Froggy account says, I'm so cold. The Knull Void account replies, I know. Then the Knull Void account states the following at 10:40 UTC time, which translates to 4:40 a.m. local time. If you want the barn situated right with your tools, just say yes. The Froggy account replies, please help me now. The Knull Void account says, you can do it, Abby. And then the Knull Void account says, Durga.
During the course of your investigation, did you hear any other references to the concept of Abby?
Yes, during my interview of Miss Kiara McCulley, she referenced one of her personalities, and she described it as having the name Abby.
Going now to page 59, what does Knull Void state at 10:44:18?
Knull Void states, Puggle, if you want me set the barn up, I'll be going Wednesday.
And Froggy responds,
Now. Knull Void then replies, text. Froggy then replies, I just wish my blankets weren't in the way, and her cats.
and in terms of texting, so these are obviously from Facebook Messenger, correct?
Correct.
Is used in the course of this evening as well.
Yes, they were in that same Cellbrite phone extraction report of Mr. Isaac Apodaca's phone. I also came across relevant text messages from this night.
Okay, and those are contained in a Cellbrite report that we'll talk about in a little while.
That's correct.
Going to 10:47:54.
How did she hurt you, Puggy? That's from Knull Void. And then Knull Void sends another message that says, your DID is kicking up. In one of the interviews I had with Miss Kiara McCulley, she explained to me that DID to her is, don't quote me on it, but some kind of personality disorder that I'm not familiar with.
Thank you. At 10:49:44, what does Knull Void say?
Just stop, we'll do the barn for you.
And then at 10:50?
You'll also get paid there. And then Froggy responds, can you get hard? Knull Void replies, maybe. Then the Froggy account responds, fuck her. And then another message from the Froggy account states, or hold her down flat on her back for me. Then between page 59 and page 60, the Knull Void account states, is she wearing pants, or, and then 2 question marks. The Froggy account then says shorts. The Knull Void account responds back. The body of that message says Otter unsent a message.
Do you know under what nickname or shorthand Isaac Apodaca was saved or referred to in Kiara's accounts?
It was Otter, that one that's referenced there in that last message.
So that would be, Otter would be Isaac Apodaca, and Puggy or Puggle is Kiara McCulley?
That's correct. Knull Void then sends a message at 10:52 UTC time, which is the equivalent of 4:52 a.m. local time, unders. Froggy then responds IDK, which I believe means I don't know. Froggy sends another message which says, I doubt it, TBH. I believe TBH means to be honest. The Froggy account sends another message which says, I want to scare her by popping a balloon by her ear. Knull Void responds and says, oh God, LMAO, which I believe means laugh my ass off. The Froggy account says, should I? The Knull Void account says, maybe. The Froggy account then replies, this isn't helping. The Knull Void account responds, what? The Froggy account responds, do something. And then the Knull Void account says, let's give her false sense of security. I'll set the barn up. It is the hell tunnel. And that last message was sent at 10:57 UTC time, which is the equivalent to 4:57 a.m. local time.
And after Knull Void, since that message, moving into page 61 of the records, what does Knull Void then say?
Between page 60 and 61, the Knull Void account says, I'm trying to figure this out. Would y'all be able to meet me at the mall tomorrow after 8? I'll do it. The Froggy account at 11:13 UTC time, which is the equivalent of 5:13 a.m. local time, says she's fake sleeping. The Knull Void account responds yes. And then the Knull Void account sends an additional message which states, I am going to take her elsewhere, so be ready Wednesday around 1 p.m. The Froggy account responds by saying CPTSD episode. The Knull Void account then says, close your eyes, this is not good for you, put on rain sounds. The Froggy account then says, if she's faking, make it seem like we're fighting and fake hurt me. The Froggy account then says, the episode is real, bit used to advantages. The Knull Void account, if you can scroll down more, then says at 11:24 UTC time, the equivalent of 5:24 a.m. local time, says CPDSD will make you flip out. I can actually give you a stroke because when it flares, you twitch. The Froggy account responds, it's okay, trust me. The Knull Void account says you will lose mobility to your right side of your body. The Froggy account says, I'll be okay. Another message from the Froggy account at 11:25 UTC time says, let's do this and have her get hurt in the process. The Knull Void account says, how does she get hurt? In between page 61 and page 62 of the record, the Froggy account says at 11:26 UTC time, bring out the knife and miss me. The Froggy account says, not yet.
Okay, scroll.
At 11:28 UTC time, that's the equivalent of 5:28 a.m. The Froggy account says, put the knife away. The Froggy account then says, or go through with it. The Froggy account then says, start fighting me. The Froggy account then says, start beating her, please. Another message from the Froggy account says, having her here is already a trigger. Then at 11:32 UTC time, converted is 5:32 a.m. our time. The Froggy account says, even hearing her name and seeing her face. The Knull Void account responds and says, why don't you hit me while I fake sleep? The Froggy account says, make me a worse bad guy, no thanks. The Knull Void account says, not really. The Froggy account says, just hurt her. The Froggy account sends another message that says, badly. The Froggy account at 11:33 UTC time, converted is 5:33 a.m. our time, says please. The Knull Void account sends some kind of image or GIF that we can't see. And then the Froggy account sends a message at 11:34 UTC time that says, this sounds bad, but show me how much you love me. The Froggy account then sends a message that says, this is when your Hulk side can come out. The Knull Void account then says, I know. The Froggy account replies, please. The Knull Void account responds, I'm trying to figure out how to bring him out. At 11:35 UTC time, converted 5:35 a.m. our time, the Froggy account says, this is pointless, you won't do it, no matter how many opportunities you have. The Knull Void account says, puggy. The Froggy account replies back, you don't love me, I get it. The Froggy account sends another message that says, no one does. The Knull Void account says, hit me. At 11:36 UTC time, the Froggy account says, my right leg is out of commission. Another message from the Froggy account states, there goes the spasm again. The Knull Void account then says, why is it a vibrator? The Froggy account says, LOL. And then between page six.
Let me stop you because there's
Sure.
a reference to a vibrator. There were no sex toys collected in this case.
Not that I ever was made aware of. As far as I know, in the processing of the scene, there was never a vibrator collected or any sex toys.
The mention of a vibrator in your review and discussions with Isaac, does that relate to the spasm that's purportedly going on here?
I'm not sure.
Going into page 64, what does Froggy McCulley say at 11:37:23 UTC?
Do something. And then the Froggy account says, ow. And then the Froggy account says, not to me, shithead. And then the Knull Void account says, shithead, we fake fighting. The Froggy account says, it actually hurts though. The Froggy account at 11:38 UTC time, converted our time is 5:38 a.m., says, ow. Then the Froggy account says, my foot is literally up your ass. The Knull Void account says, meep. The Froggy account replies and says, get out of the blanket and go full Hulk on her. Oh, too far.
Okay, sorry about that.
The Froggy account then says, owie. Another message from the Froggy account says, come over me, sit on me like when we fight. The Knull Void account says, turn on rain sounds and start fake sleep kicking. The Froggy account replies, okay, there's a tear. The Knull Void account at 11:41 UTC time says, what? The Froggy account then responds, owie. And then between page 64 to 65, we start with a message from Froggy that says, bring out Hulk, remember the anger from that night, feel it, but use it on her. The Froggy account then says, please. The Froggy account then says, stop with the socks, dude. The Knull Void account replies and says, LOL. The Froggy account then says, voodoo. The Knull Void account says, LOL. The Knull Void account says, blanket moves. He's like, oh, playtime.
Did you learn the name of any of the cats that were in the garage in this case?
I did not that I can remember. The Froggy account says, I've got a voodoo on me. The Knull Void account says LOL.
Now I'd like to go to page 66. And it's obviously a bit blurry, but did you encounter this, this image contained on page 66 during your interview with Isaac Apodaca when you were reviewing the phone with him?
Yes, I did. When we were reviewing the phone together, we brought up this image. I couldn't quite make out what it was. I asked Mr. Apodaca what it was, and he told me that it was him laying across horizontally on the bed, kind of at the foot of the bed.
Okay. And are there any features that identify this as occurring in the garage?
Yes, if you look above where it appears Mr. Isaac Apodaca is laying, there's what appears to be a mask above him. That mask in that image was recovered and collected as evidence during the search warrant of the address of 5941 Jaguar Drive.
And in this image, can you just kind of orient the jury where Isaac Apodaca's face is in this image?
It's to the far right-hand side of the image, somewhat to the center right side.
And does there appear to be any sort of light or lighting underneath his face?
It appears to me as though there is some kind of illumination coming to the bottom left-hand chin side of his face.
Thank you. Going now to page 67.
Page 67, the first message is from Froggy at 11:45 UTC time, converted back. This would be 5:45 in the morning. Our local time says, "Can you please finish this?" The Froggy account then says, "Now." The Froggy account then says, "Ow." The Froggy account then says, "I'm short."
Oops, sorry.
The Knull Void account at 11:46 UTC time says LOL Munchkin. LOL, I believe, meaning laugh out loud. The Froggy account then says I want a smoky. The Froggy account then says fucking clobro. The Froggy account then says stop. The Froggy account then says don't make me get you. The Froggy account then says please do something about her. The Froggy account sends another message that says now. The Froggy account sends another message at 11:45 UTC time, don't break me again.
Going to page 68, going into 68, what does Knull Void say?
Knull Void says at 11:48 UTC time, get a cat and throw it over by her cats. The Froggy account replies and says, I can't reach them. The Froggy account then says, dude, just do something, hurt her or end this. The Froggy account then says, don't involve the cats. The Knull Void account responds and says, the cat is a distraction. The Froggy account responds and says, I give up. There's no point in trying anymore. The Knull Void account says at 11:52 UTC time, converted local time 5:52 a.m. Voodoo is pissing them off. Knull Void then appears to send some kind of emoji or a picture that we can't see. The Froggy account then says, yeah, you won't do anything and I physically can't. The Froggy account then states, you have no clue how much this hurts.
And what does Knull Void respond at 11:54:33?
Knull Void responds, the list for you was made specifically for you. Froggy then responds at 11:54 UTC time, good night. Knull Void responds and says, I know it hurts, I just want you to do it so you can feel that rush of adrenaline. The Froggy account replies and says, I physically can't, I need fucking help, but no, you're just playing games. Then the Froggy account appears to send a message between page 68 and page 69 at 11:56 UTC time that says, I'm genuinely upset.
At 11:58:06 UTC, after the Froggy McCulley account says, I'm genuinely upset, what does the Knull Void account respond with?
I'm not playing games. I'm wanting to see you do this. She hurt you the most, caused trauma. You're being asked to finish this. The Knull Void account then sends an unknown GIF or image or emoji that we can't see. The Froggy account then says, I just need help. The Froggy account then says, you're doing nothing again. The Knull Void account responds back and says, yes, I want to help, but I cannot aid you. I can coach you what to do. The Knull Void account says, text me.
All right, and this time that Knull Void states text me, what time is this sent?
11:59 UTC time. If we convert that to local time, we're looking at 5:59 a.m. on October 29, 2022.
Right before 6 a.m.?
Right before 6 a.m.
Do you recall if there are text messages exchanged via SMS between the phones at around the 6 a.m. timeframe?
Yes, there are.
Okay. At 11:59:58, what does Froggy McCulley respond with?
Stand up for me for once. And then now we're at 6 in the morning local time. Froggy says, I feel like I'm going to vomit. And then Froggy sends another message that appears to be some kind of sticker.
And does this sticker continue on getting sent repeatedly for many, many pages?
It sure does.
Okay, I'll just scroll through those.
And as you're scrolling, I noticed that these are all being sent from the Froggy account.
Yes, thank you. So we're now scrolling past page 100. Has it still been the same sticker just being sent continuously?
It has same sticker, same sender, the Froggy account. We're still going, page 114, same sticker, same Froggy account.
We'll stop here at 118, at page 118. Let me just go up a bit. So on page 118, as they're notated in the Facebook records, which is page 87 of the document itself, what is the next, after the long series of those stickers being sent, what is the next message that's actually sent?
It's sent from the Froggy account. An important thing to know before we get into this next series of messages is that the time has changed, or it's gone up a bit. We're on October 29, 2022, 15:45 UTC time. Converting that back, that is because that'll be 3:45 p.m. 10:45 a.m. in the morning. Is my math correct?
You're asking a lawyer to do math, which is even more dangerous. I think could it be at 9:45?
I believe 9:45, 10:45 a.m. in the morning.
Okay, thank you.
Wake up, and then the Froggy account says what? The Froggy account says this one. It appears a couple hours later at 17:56 UTC time. We do more math here. That'd be the equivalent of 5:56 p.m. on the 29th. So going back to about 12:56. 11:56 or 12:56 on the 29th would be local conversion. Knull Void says, hey, I have a plan with what I said. All I have to do is be over there at my fam's place and call the cops. Knull Void says, for a breaking and entering. Froggy then says, hold up. Froggy then says, listen. Knull Void says, okay. Knull Void says, plan B. Froggy then says, just tell her she needs to leave. Knull Void says, follow my lead, my lady. That one, we're now at 1806 UTC time, converted backwards. That'd be 6 p.m. back, so we're now at 12:06 p.m. Standard time.
And what does Froggy McCulley say at 18:06:54 UTC?
Just tell her to leave, dude. And then Froggy says, I'm in a mood. The Knull Void account says, I did. And then the Knull Void account between page 118 and 119 at 18:07 UTC time, which would be 12:07 p.m. Local time, it says through Insta.
Let me, before we go on, do you know what Insta is short for?
I would believe it means Instagram.
And do you know how Isaac Apodaca and Grace Jennings communicated in the course of this case? What social media platform they used?
Through Instagram.
All right. At 18:07:30, what does Froggy McCulley say?
So now what? Knull Void responds by saying, Operation Kickout, me following the call to the cops once at my family's. Froggy then says, how about I just explain why I'm angry and why she's not wanted? Knull Void responds, okay. Froggy states, show me what you sent her. Knull Void says, my plan.
And at this point, does the Knull Void account transmit any screenshots from other conversations?
Yes, at this point, and I discovered this during the interview when physically going through the phone, at this point, a screenshot was shared showing messages between
Between Knull Void and Yumiko Jennings.
it appears 12:01 p.m.
Now going to page 121.
At 18:10 UTC time converted, that's 12:10 standard time or our time. Knull Void says it worked with Christian. Knull Void then says she is leaving at 3:30. The Froggy account then sends some kind of image or GIF, or some kind of image or something that we can't see. The Knull Void account then says 3:30. The Knull Void count then sends some kind of image or GIF or sticker that we can't see. The Froggy account then sends some kind of image or GIF with the word still. The Knull Void account at 18:12 UTC time, converted, that'd be 12:12 p.m. our time, says, yeah, why don't you pop off my little firecracker? The Knull Void account then says, what would you like me to do? The Froggy account at 18:14 UTC time, which is 12:14 p.m. our time, converted, says, stab her. The Froggy account sends another message that says IDFK, which I believe means I don't give a fuck. I don't have the energy to do shit.
IDFK?
Yes. Or I don't fucking care. I'm sorry. Correction. I don't fucking care. The Knull Void account then says, oops,
Sorry.
Can we approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Let me just scroll up and look up where we were. Okay. On page, going from page 121 into 122, and 1815, what is sent from the Knull Void account?
it says Otter sent a photo.
Just scroll down to the image. All right, on page 123, what is that actual image?
It appears to be an image of a screenshot taken from a phone that has a notification from what appears to be the Instagram logo from a sender of Yumiko Jennings that states, "Why is she kicking you out, and does she know I'm here?" There are also some other miscellaneous notifications that don't seem to have relevance.
Going to 124, page 124, at 1815, after Knull Void sends that screenshot containing the message from the Yumiko Jennings account, what does Knull Void state?
Read what she sent.
Okay, and what does Froggy McCulley respond with?
Is she stupid?
And what does Knull Void respond with?
Yes.
And then what does the Knull Void account do next?
It says Otter sent a photo. Now, this appears to be a screenshot of the communications between the Knull Void account and Yumiko Jennings. The conversation, the first two messages appear to be sent from the Yumiko Jennings account. The first one states, First of all, who second my mom can only come get me at 3:30. The next message says, why is she kicking you out and does she know I'm here? The Knull Void account says she is kicking me out because you're here and she knows it. The Yamiko account says how? And then the response from Knull Void is she is right next to you. Now we have a message from...
Hold on just one second.
Sure.
Sergeant. So we're going to page 126 of the records, 95 of 99 on the document itself. And what does Knull Void send at 18:22:58 UTC?
It says Otter sent a photo.
Okay. Scrolling to the next page on 127. What was it a photo of?
It's a photo of what appears to be a screenshot from an account or a message thread that's with an individual referred to as Mama Love. And it appears to be the Knull Void account sending a message to Mama Love saying, hey, Mom, can y'all pick me up? Followed by an image of a shark. Okay. Then there appears to be 2 audio calls that were made, but from the image, it appears that they were not answered. That was at 12:19 p.m. And then a final message on that screenshot that says, Mom.
Going to page 128. At the top, at 18:24:16, what does Knull Void say?
I am fake getting thrown out. The Froggy account then says, yep. The Knull Void account then says, follow my lead, my lady.
And then starting at 18:25:59, what is the or what's the next message that's sent?
The next message sent from Knull Void appears to be an unknown image or emoji or something that we can't see, followed by a response from the Froggy account that also appears to be an image or an emoji or sticker or something that we can't see.
At 18:52 UTC time, what does Froggy McCulley say?
1852 or 1828?
I'm sorry, thank you, 18:28.
At 1828, converted to our time, which would be 12:28 p.m., the Froggy account says, we can hear you. The Knull Void account responds by saying, Puggle, they want me to spend what I have saved for the house. The Froggy account responds by saying, don't. The Froggy account then says, WTF. The Knull Void account replies and says, I know not to, and I'm not feeling good. Still told Steven, and he said, okay. The Froggy account at 1842 UTC time, translated to 12:42 p.m. local time, says, you heard that, right? The Knull Void account says, yeah. And then between page 128 and 129, it appears the Knull Void account says, Rune is legendary pink spotted Pokemon. The Knull Void account then says, unless I ask your mom to give me a ride to Target and you do what is needed.
And let me stop you there after Knull Void states the information about giving a ride to Target and you do what is needed. What does Froggy respond at 18:45:18 UTC?
Her mother is her backup ride.
And Knull Void responds.
Okay. Knull Void account then says, want me to get your mom to give me a ride to Target? And then another message from Knull Void says, so you can take my stuff into the back room. Knull Void sends another message that says, and her mom and your mom don't get into it.
18:48:28, what does Knull Void say?
Yay or nay?
And what does Froggy McCulley respond at 18:48:47?
Wait a bit though.
And Knull Void's response?
Okay.
And Knull Void's next message?
How long?
And then Froggy McCulley's next message.
Until there's a clue on when she's leaving.
And now let's talk about these last 3 messages. At 19:25:19, what does the Knull Void account send to Froggy McCulley?
At 19:25:19 UTC time, converted to our local time, would be 1:25 p.m. on October 29th, 2022. The Knull Void account says she admitted to me when she lived at those apartments.
Okay, and then at 19:25:43, what is the next message that Knull Void sends?
And she was sober then?
And then going from 120, page 129 into page 30, or excuse me, 130, what does Knull Void state at 1927:35?
She admitted to me also back when I first met her calling you crazy.
And does that conclude these messages?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Your Honor, may we approach briefly?
Yes. Counsel, come up, please.
So Sergeant, I'd like to talk about now these social media or the social media messages as they relate to the Celebrite phone extractions from Isaac Apodaca's phone. You stated that you reviewed the Celebrite extractions in this case, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and in going through those extractions, can you see the information that relates to the use of applications?
Yes.
Okay, and when you were in the extraction report for Isaac Apodaca's iPhone, were you able to see whether the Facebook Messenger application was used on Isaac Apodaca's phone during this relevant time period of October 28th into the 29th of 2022?
Yes, I could.
And are you able to generate a extraction or report that shows just the use of the Facebook Messenger application as it relates to that relevant time period?
Yes, I am.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
Sergeant Vigil, I'm approaching you with what's been marked as State's Exhibit 88. If you could please review it and let me know if you recognize the information it contains.
Yes, I do.
And what is State's Exhibit 88?
It's a Cellbrite-generated report documenting the data from Mr. Isaac Apodaca's phone, in particular the Facebook usage, such as the messages and the call history.
And when you've reviewed the Celebrite extractions, have you been able to access this data?
Yes, I have.
Okay, does this log entries portion of the extraction report fairly and accurately depict the data from the extraction demonstrating the Facebook application or Facebook Messenger application usage in the relevant time frame?
Yes, it does.
Does that information appear to have been altered or tampered with in any way since you've reviewed the information itself on the actual extraction?
No, it has not.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 88.
Any objection?
No objection from defense here.
88 is admitted.
Your Honor, we don't need to publish this. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes.
Sergeant Vigil, I'm going to approach you with something that's been labeled as State Exhibit 89. Do you recognize State Exhibit 89?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and what is State Exhibit 89?
It's a copy of the Cellbrite report from the data extraction of Mr. Isaac Apodaca's cell phone, which I reviewed, signed and dated.
And other than the redactions for relevance, does this fairly and accurately depict the information that was pulled from Isaac Apodaca's phone during the extraction?
Yes,
Okay. Are search terms contained on this report?
there are.
And are SMS text messages contained on the report?
There are.
Your Honor, other than the redactions that are noted for relevance, did you, has this information been altered or tampered with in any way?
No.
Your Honor, this time I'd move to admit State's Exhibit 89.
Counsel,
Defense has no objection.
89 is admitted.
Move to publish, Your Honor.
Yes.
So I don't want to, we're not going to go through this entire 24-page document at this time. But I would like to, a couple of things. Would the court inquire whether the jury can view this text at this zoom level if I need to zoom more?
Can everyone see it? Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Okay, so looking at this, this report, let's start with this first section. What does the first section contain on this report?
The first section, the timestamp, shows the date of the incident, October 29th, 2022. This one seems to already have UTC time accounted for, so it's already been converted into into local time. That's why you see UTC-6 there, and it's showing a time of 4:46 and 57 seconds in the morning. The source shows from an iPhone, and it appears that the Safari application was used. Safari, I have knowledge and experience of that being a web searching tool commonly used on iPhones. And then the value is displayed as the barn.
And in the columns above that and to the right, there's a created and a modified date. What do those dates correspond to?
The created date is 12/13/2022, 10:59 and 5 seconds in AM. And the modified date is 12/13/2022, 10:59:05 AM.
And on what date was the extraction pulled from these phones?
On or around that time.
Thank you. Okay, so this first series of searches on the phone under searched items 1, 2, 3, and 4, what is the search term that is utilized during those times?
The same search term. It's all the barn.
Okay, and are the timestamps different?
They are different, but they're all within, it appears, a couple seconds of each other.
Okay. And then now going to search terms conducted at, or search terms labeled, excuse me, as 5, 6, and then the portion of 7 that's visible. What date and time were these these search terms utilized?
5, 6, and 7 all appear to have taken place on the date of the incident, October 29th, 2022. Number 5 in particular has a timestamp of 1:34 and 43 seconds PM, UTC time already accounted for. It appears to be another Safari internet search, and the value is how to dispose of a body.
Thank you. Yeah. And is that the same search term utilized in 6, 7, and 8?
Yes.
Okay. Going to 102922 or under item 10, what is the item 10?
Item 10 appears to be an outgoing phone call to the phone number 505-428-3700.
Do you know that number?
I'm familiar with this number. This is the non-emergency dispatch number for the Santa Fe Police Department.
And we heard a recording earlier on in this case where Mr. Apodaca had a conversation with dispatch. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And that this call was made at 1:52:56?
Yes, and it had a duration of about 7 minutes, it appears.
Thank you. Going to scroll just to a couple of other things. Are some of the Facebook Messenger phone calls or are those visible in this portion of the Celebrite extraction?
They are. You could see number 15 right there appears to be an outgoing phone call to Mama Love, time stamped the date of the incident, October 29, 2022, 12:19 and 53 seconds p.m. It was not answered, it appears.
Going down to number 19 in the call log, is there a time where there is a outgoing phone call not using the Messenger app from the phone itself in this time frame?
Yes, it appears number 19 reflects that. It's an outgoing call to phone number 505-316-4537. Through investigation, I learned this was Mr. Apodaca's mother's phone, Linda Montoya, I believe.
So as opposed to phone calls made in the Messenger app, is this a phone call to another phone?
Correct,
Using
yes.
Okay. Is there another phone call from that, or to that phone number, excuse me, and looking in the call log at 21 at 102:05?
Yes, yes, there is.
And going to 142:24 in the entry 24 in the call log, is there an outgoing call and a answered call at this time?
Yes, there is.
And to what number?
To the 1-505-316-4537 number, which is Mr. Apodaca's mother.
Okay. And at 25, there's a call log noted. Is this an incoming or outcoming call?
It says an incoming call, and again, that appears to be the number for our non-emergency dispatch number at the Santa Fe Police Department, and it appears the phone call was not answered.
One second while I get my glitchy arrow back down. Okay, there's just a few other things I'd like to ask you about. Here are at entry number 28, are you able to see, what are you able to see?
Entry number 28 appears to be a source of dialogue on Instagram between the Yumiko Jennings profile and the Isaac Apodaca profile.
And we've already discussed these entries that also come up under web history. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. Now, going to the native messages on the phone, what are native messages?
Native messages are like what you referred to earlier, the SMS messages. So messages directly from one phone number to another phone number.
Okay, and in number 37, what does it indicate in terms of a message sent from this device, and who was it sent to?
It appears to be a native message outgoing sent to phone number 197-138-10111, which I learned through my investigation was Miss Kiara McCulley's phone number. And the outgoing message sent from Isaac's phone to Kiara's says in the body there, with the dagger, bring it up, turn flat south to north, and with hilt east to west.
What time was this message sent?
This message appears to be sent on the date of the incident, October 29, 2022, at 6:01 in the morning.
After that, logged in entry 38, is there an incoming message from the number that he'd been communicating with?
There is, from the number associated with Miss Kiara McCulley, and the incoming message says, "I'll just hand it to you, dude."
In entry 39 in the messages derived from the phone, is there an outgoing call? I'm sorry, excuse me, an outgoing text message from Isaac's device to the number that you notably belonged to Kiara McCulley?
Yes, there is, and in the body of that message it states, "Then turn it blade east to west, hilt north to south, and voila, she dead." It looks like a response message back from the phone number associated with Miss Kiara McCulley.
Let me just ask the quick question first.
Yes.
In entry number 40, is there a response message from that phone number back to Isaac's phone?
Yes, there is.
Okay, and what is the response from that individual?
I physically can't.
And number 41, is there another? Apologize. In 41, is there another incoming message to Isaac Apodaca's phone?
Yes, there is.
And what does it state?
You already saw it and felt it.
42, is there an outgoing message?
Yes, there is.
And what's the message that's sent there?
6:03 a.m. It says, "You need Abby to come out."
Is there then a response message that's incoming from the Kiara McCulley phone number at
Yes.
43 on these? And what was that?
She doesn't want to.
Going to go then to 46. Is there a message from the Kiara McCulley phone to the Isaac Apodaca phone?
Yes.
And what does that message say?
Do something.
Okay, and what time was that sent?
That was sent at 6:04 a.m. on October 29, 2022.
And what does the next message that's incoming to Isaac Apodaca's phone from the Kiara McCulley say?
It states, "About Grace."
And then what is the next message sent from the Kiara McCulley phone to the Isaac Apodaca phone?
Please.
Right. Going to entry 49, is that an incoming, was that an incoming or outgoing text?
It appears to be an outgoing text message.
Sent to?
The phone number associated with Miss Kiara McCulley.
And what was that message?
The message states, "Puggle, I am wanting you to kill her. You have to end your suffering by ending her joy."
Okay. I know there's some other extraneous messages. All right, going to instant message or the category 56. What is this, an incoming or an outgoing message?
It appears to be an incoming message.
Okay, and what does that message state?
"I'm in a lot of physical pain as well as emotional.
And the next message at 57?
Do something."
What does Isaac Apodaca's phone respond with?
The outgoing message says, "I feel that, just leave her, have rest."
At 6:13, logged as 59 in these messages, what is the next incoming message from the Kiara McCulley number?
"I can't do anything and neither can you, so just get her out of my house."
At 6:15, what does the Kiara McCulley message text to Isaac Apodaca's phone?
It states, "I want her gone for good."
And what does Isaac Apodaca respond with?
Okay.
And what is the next message from the Kiara McCulley cell phone?
For good, good.
And the next message from the Kiara McCulley cell phone?
Do something physically, please.
And the next message from the Kiara McCulley?
you won't, why do I even ask? Do I even try to ask?
Going past these. Understanding that the jury has the rest of these. Sorry, at 6:22:22, what is an outgoing message from the Isaac Apodaca phone?
The outgoing message states, Puggle.
And then the incoming message at 81 in the categories, but timestamps?
I'm going to sleep.
The incoming message to the phone from the from the Kiara McCulley phone logged at 83.
Do something.
And the outgoing logged at 84 at 6:31:04.
I'm trying.
The incoming at, instant message category 90 at 6:33:29. What's the incoming to the phone from the Kiara McCulley phone?
Do something, damn it.
And the response?
I can't.
Why? And the next response from the Kiara McCulley phone?
Why not?
And the outgoing response to the Kiara McCulley phone at 93.
My lower half locked in hand.
At 6:36, logged in instant message 95. Is there an incoming message?
Yes.
And what does it say?
She's awake.
And an outgoing message from logged at 96 at 6:37:26 back to Kiara McCulley's phone. What does it say?
She double tapped me.
Kiara McCulley's phone response at 97 at 6:37 is what?
Why?
And without translating what that might mean to you, what is the response from Isaac Apodaca's phone to Kiara McCulley's phone?
IDK.
And the incoming message from Kiara's phone?
Do something.
And the outgoing message from Isaac Apodaca's phone to Kiara McCulley's phone at 6:38:57.
I tried twice and locked.
Thank you. Then the next message from Kiara McCulley's phone incoming to Isaac Apodaca's phone at 6:39:31, logged as 101 on the categories.
Then talk to her. I don't fucking know.
Okay, thank you. That concludes that evidence, or that piece of evidence, Your Honor.
Come on up. We're going to go ahead and take our lunch recess at this time. We'll continue with this witness after the lunch break. If you would be back at 1:30, again, meet the bailiff on the second floor. He'll bring you up and we'll get started. Leave your notes with the bailiff. Don't seek out any information. Don't speak to anyone about the case during the break.